I'm Sheryl Holman. I am the CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Community Assistance Programs. And I am the founder of the agency. That we're celebrating more than 20 years of providing employment and training on Chicago's South and Far South Side and South suburbs. We've been in the community working with those populations that have the most difficult time getting a job. And that has been our niche in the workforce field, is to assist those populations that don't really make it in other workforce development programs. We provide employment training programs, and our focus is to begin with the very basic. So you come to an orientation, and after that orientation, and anybody can come. It's a walk-in, and we decide what programs you qualify for, and we do have something for everybody. And if we don't, we know somebody who does. So it's not like you will just be, kicked to the curb if you came and we didn't have anything. But from there, what we do, we've designed a program that's basically for those people that have a hard time finding a job. So we hit those basic things like, how do you dress? What do you talk about? Where do you go? Who do you see? What is your resume? And all those things. And then our basic training is what we call work experience. So we have two customers. We have more than 4,000 employers in our database that we have worked with, and we continue to work with many of them, placing people in employment. And those employers know that we're working with all kinds of populations, not just those TANF and SNAP recipients, people getting out of jail, people that have disabilities. We have seniors, we have youth and foster youth. So the program is designed specifically for them. So from orientation, you go to what we call work readiness. And from work readiness, you go into some training, depends on what program we can get to fund you. You can be in work experience. So within a week or two, you could be in working, period. That is our goal. So we're not trying to make you go through all of these things just to get to work. But here's the thing, you have to be ready to go to work, because we don't want you to just get a job and just go on. We're trying to get you a future. So you may be in an entry level position, but that entry level position is connected to other positions that you can live with and get a livable wage. That is our goal, is that you have a livable wage.
Yeah. Now, what is your biggest group? Like, what do you mainly focus on? So people come in looking for opportunities, have backgrounds, not working, different situations. What is the largest group that comes to your door?
Representative Evans, everybody,
Mm,
anybody who is unemployed and have
mm,
been unsuccessful to get a job, they come to our door. And we have relationships with employers that have us give a shout out. Right now, we're pushing manufacturing. Those meals you get delivered at your door, they need somebody to put those together. And a lot of jobs we have pay a good wage, but they are entry level positions. And if they don't teach you how to go to work every day and be on time and do that, and then move on to another career, that field right there has something else for you. Like healthcare, if you go into a healthcare and you're a transporter, the healthcare system has hundreds of types of jobs that you can go after, and we teach you how to do that. So go from where
mm,
you are and how you get a better job. So it's anybody
mm.
who is unemployed.
Wow. Okay. And again, you help people from all over the city, all over the region. I mean, what's your area of focus?
Yes, we do. We don't have boundaries, so it's not our focus to turn people away. We're really trying to help those that need our type of help. Everybody doesn't need our help. Some people can get their own job. They just need to be able to access and a little help, getting resources and find out where the jobs are, and do the interview, upload a resume, and they're gone. And people take
Mhm.
whatever it is they need from us. Our focus and our outcome is how many people come through our door and how many of them get a job, how many of them go through training, just basic things like that. So, and that is what workforce development should be. And we try to move very fast. Jobs are here today and they're gone tomorrow. So we really have to make sure that we're moving quickly with the times and what's happening today and what jobs are available today, and get our people prepared for those jobs. Because we don't train people just to train them and say, look, they finished training. I mean, that's a great thing. And I believe that other entities do that and we draw on them. And once they finish that training, they need to get a job. And that's where we are. That's our lane. I mean,
Mm.
others, have different lanes. We do draw on some training because our employers ask for it. Well, one of the main things they ask for is a subsidized work experience. And that's, we have asked you all to look at Illinois Cares.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's a similar program to during the Quinn administration, they had Illinois put Illinois to work, where thousands, more than 50,000 workers were put to work with employers, and the state paid a wage for those workers. So we're asking for emergency COVID money for a what we're calling Illinois Cares, because unemployment's going to run out pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all this great
Yep.
stuff coming from the feds, and then we're going to have a crash because people will be out of work, no unemployment, and they're going to be rushing. And they're starting to do that now. Some of them are doing it now. So the employers need workers because they're trying to get their doors open. They're trying to get it. So we're creating a conduit to make sure that we can match employers with those needs, with those employees that will work for them. So it's a lot of work because we have to see what employers want and what our populations that are looking for work, what they can do. And we have a customized database system to match people with employers. So, it's a process that's not lengthy, but it is a process.
Mm-hmm.
So Illinois Cares will put hundreds of thousands of dollars into the community. It will save employers because they may not be able to pay wages right now. And so what we expect is that they would take these workers, and they can even help us pick them who they are. All they need to be is unemployed. And they could pick the workers, and we can see how long that they can keep them on subsidized payroll before they pick them up. We expect them to hire them. So this is not like we're just giving out free labor. No, we expect you to hire them. So it's just a assistance to employers, and it's an indirect, so they don't have to keep records of it. We do. And we're hoping that the Illinois Department of Employment Security they have the mechanism to make this work. If they
Yeah.
had the money, they could do it.
And, I chair the Labor and Commerce Committee, and so again, my personal passion, growing up on the South Side of Chicago, seeing violence, seeing people with issues, I just believe in the stabilizing power of a job and employment. Two people working in the family could just make a difference. Those are the pillars. People working and having the governmental focus on folks working, because when you work, what do? You have disposable income and you pay taxes.
There
So
you go.
we should, that the focus is never there. It's like we're not focusing on what can actually bring back the economy. Those restaurants want somebody to go there to spend money, and we have to have working class people going to them.
You're exactly right. I can't even add anything to that because that is exactly right. Violence in the community happens because there are so many people that are so frustrated, as if you've
Yep.
tried everything, you can't get a job. And I'm sure other people that don't normally go through this are going through it now with COVID. They
Mhm.
lost a job and trying to get back on that horse. Whereas people in the communities that we serve, they've had this problem for a long time. And so trying to get back on that horse has been a long drive. So it ends up there. It's a daily struggle to eat. And when your children are hungry, or if you can't feed the household, or you don't have shelter, people get angry, and good people can do bad things. And that's a horrible thing for our society, to be in that position, that people would feel that way, and have that, feel that they don't have any way out. But I'm not excusing violence, of course. I never would say that, because I've been in Roseland and in, Inglewood, in these areas forever. And
Mhm.
we've always had our offices in the communities that need it the most. And there are always the high unemployment, high crime, and high poverty. And they have the same problems. And
Yeah.
we have to look at what money we put in these communities are based on that measurement. If it's not high poverty, high crime, and high unemployment, why are you putting money there? because you're just strengthening a community that's already strong. And those that are not strong, they get what's left. And here we are. You
Yeah,
think,
give me your message. This is what I'm gonna when I take this video and copy and paste it. What is the Sheryl Holman vision and where I should focus my energy for the rest of this session?
ah, it's a wonderful thing. Thank you for asking me that, because most people don't. What my vision would be is that when we're focused on unemployment, we don't treat it like it's an economic development, because that
Mm,
has not that's not given us giving more money to employers to employ people has not moved people out of unemployment the way we would like them to be. Right
mm,
now, the scale is tipped so far the other way that we
mm,
have to look at different methods to do that. And I think, having our workforce dollars under the Department of Employment Security, because they are the conduit between employers and employees. Most states do that. They have a separate division that is workforce, and they work all of those programs, and they are connected to the employers. Many of our programs don't focus as much on employers as they should, because that is the key to employment. You can prepare people for work, but if you don't have employers that are going to pick them up. The other thing is workforce campus. The workforce campus addresses the housing.
mhm.
Imagine for a moment that your parents said you finish high school and you need to get a job.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? You don't know what to, and you want to be independent. Well, you can go to a workforce center, and we can help you find a job and a career path that's going to take you quickly to where you need to go. And we're
Mm,
going to move you quickly. It's not like you're going to spend months and years here. No, we want you to move out so somebody else can move in. So that's how this process would go. So it would be a very fast paced college. If we put such a thing all over the city or states or country in those communities that are so depressed, have high unemployment, high poverty, and high crime, we
mm,
would have a machine that would help people getting out of jail. They go directly here, they get a job, they move on. And that is the dream that I have. That is the system that I think works the best. And I've been doing this for, I won't say how long, but we're celebrating our 20th year. So
yeah.
I have seen just about everything you can see in workforce development. I've had, all the populations, the TANF, the SNAP, the returning citizens, the people with disabilities, the seniors, the youth that are at risk. And now we have youth that are out of work and out of jobs and out of education. And the bottom line of it is that they need a job, and we need to have a system that is specifically addressing that and moving quickly. So it doesn't
Mm,
require a lot of talk about it if we just stay focused on the outcome. And that's what we need now. And that is my dream. And that's how I would work it. And I think if people look at it that way, even moving everything to the Department of Employment Security wouldn't interrupt a lot of the other systems that are in place, but it
mhm.
will give more focus on unemployment, because that is what they do. They do unemployment. And that's the key.
Yep.
We're in all workforce development. The bottom line is people are unemployed, and it's our job to get them a job. Now,
Yep.
we would like them to have good jobs, and we would like them to have the highest paying wage, but that can't be our starting point. We have to start where they are and move them to that process. And if you're not looking at that, and I've heard people say, yeah, we've done all these things, and they just don't want to work. That is so insulting. You
Yep.
would be
Mhm.
surprised. You would be surprised at things that would keep people from going to work. I can tell you one. I didn't go to work because I didn't have any clothes to wear.
Wow.
That is a big one. I didn't have any clothes to wear because they need to be accepted. They have been so their self-esteem is gone because you've not been working. Some people are experiencing that now. They're calling them mental health.
Mm,
Okay. Because when you don't have a job, you don't have money, and this has been going on for a long time, your whole lifestyle changes. You can't go to that restaurant. You can't buy that special thing at the grocery store. Everything changes. And
yep.
that really, really has a lot to do with how our whole system has to be addressing the needs of the people. Because if you assume, I had a legislator tell me once that people on SNAP, We just got to find a way to get them off the couch and get them to work.
Hmm.
And I said, you're assuming that they have a couch. A lot of people are transient. They're moving from couch, they're couch surfing is what we call it, and
Hmm.
especially the kids. They live here, then they live there, and they stay with his friends there. And they can do that for a long time. You'd be surprised how many youth are homeless because, they know how to work that system. So I'm looking, and my dream is that we can move millions of people quickly through a process to get them employed. And in that process, you're going to see people who excel and need more training, and they could be this wow thing be an engineer. Because we have kids coming out of school now that are not going to college because they can't afford it. They don't know how to maneuver the system to get and nobody's helping them or whatever. And so that's a lost mine that we could find through this process. So why would you not try other things? We
Yep.
can't just be complacent. Operate based, it's employer driven. It's not that we just say, oh, let's do a class on blah. No, we're because we owe it to our clients, our job seekers as well as our employers to move very quickly. Everybody's in a hurry for these, to get to work or to have workers. So, you have to move very quickly and work the best you can in the beginning. Now, we have what we call the world of work for youth. And we created a process where you begin, it's a 12-week course. You begin with talking about what kind of life you want. So they go on excursions. Right now they're virtual, but they look at apartments, they look at cars, and they build a budget from that. What kind of car you want? So this is how much it costs, and this is what the dealer says you have to do. You'd be
Hmm.
shocked how many of them don't know these things, how to open a bank account or get a credit card or what credit means and those kind of things. And once they get that budget together, then the budget tells them how much money they need to earn in order to live the way they want to live. That goes into what kind of job will pay you at your current state to make that kind of money. And that's when the rubber hits the road. They realize, oh yeah, I got to do, this, and I've got to learn that, or I'm going to take this job so I can live like that, or maybe I need to live differently. And so they start exploring the employers, and we go on trips to employers and see what kind of jobs. We've gone to Ford, we go to, the different companies. And then from there, they have to see what kind of education or training they need to get that job to be able to live that way. That
Hmm.
program has been very successful because, and it's hard to get funding for it because it doesn't fit in the box. And there again, it evolved from what we saw that youth needed. They needed to be convinced that they needed a job and what they needed it for and how they wanted to live. And a lot of them had never even thought about that. They just go from what, the teacher tells them and from that, what the parents think. And, but
Hmm.
they don't have that. So you're right. We are a bridge for that. We provide that information in the community.
Yeah, we're getting people, and again, it's getting people out of the survival mentality. It's not the jungle. So many of us kind of grew up with that. We don't have to
Right.
survive. We can strive for excellence, and I'm just glad that you're able to connect that to say, hey, get this job, because I think a lot of folks, have you seen it where they get frustrated with a what they
Oh,
consider a low level job or whatever that means,
oh yeah, they
and
do.
not seeing that that is the path to the connection to upper mobility sometimes.
Yeah. And that's where work readiness comes in. That's the first thing we do. People will say, I know how to work. I know how to get a job. I don't need to go through this class. Yes, you do.
Yeah,
Because what we're telling you is not book sense, it's street sense. Okay.
yeah.
So you need to get a job. This is how much the job pays. This is what your rent is. This is what you
Mhm.
need to do. And if they don't get that information, and they are discouraged and they get placed and they don't stay on the job because they're not committed. So part of it is to find out what their interests are. You said it earlier. They don't know what kind of job they want. All they want is a job. And we have to continually say there's no job called any job. Okay. And they'll say that because they just want all the opportunity they want to be able to see all the opportunity. But that's not the key. The key is what are your interests? Do you like working outside? Do you work inside? Do you
Mhm.
like Are you good on the computer? Are you good on the Facebook thing? Okay,
Yeah.
because I'm not. Okay, so there are different skills that translate into different jobs. And
Yeah.
so what happens is people get those skills and they have those skills, and now you're going to put me to work doing that? Okay. And they didn't even know jobs were available to do that. You have people that can talk, and they talk about the drug dealers and everything. They were good salesmen. Okay. They knew how
Yeah.
to sell. So we can translate that skill into another skill. So, there's always opportunity. And our job has always been to meet the needs of the worker and the employer. So if the employer says, you know what, I don't care that they don't have a high school diploma. I don't care that I just need them to know how to do this job. I had a manufacturer tell me once he would hire anybody if we could teach them how to use this ruler. The ruler was a measurement. And what it
Mhm.
was, the plastic company, and they made plastic bags. And they needed the pour to be a specific measurement, or the
Mhm.
bag will be too thick or too thin. And we did a class on that, a real quick class. And there you go. He hired everybody that came out of that class, and some of them were still working. So, it has to be something that people are interested in and a need. They have to be valuable to the employer. And that's something that we teach them, in our job readiness. They need to know how to answer, and they need to know what their professional voice is and their at home voice. They speak in
Yeah.
two languages here. You can't go talking to your employer the same way you talk to your friends at home, or you can't. And you have to have an inside voice and an outside voice. So
Yeah.
these simple etiquettes are things that some people just did not get, do not know, and they need to know it now. You don't curse out your boss, you don't curse at anybody, you just talk to them. And this is how you talk to them, this is what you say. Workplace vocabulary is very important. It's important for people to be comfortable in their pursuit of employment, because when they come to you, they've already been disillusioned, they've
Yep.
already been frustrated, they've been through. I've had people come to our classes and say, I have these 5 certificates from these other classes that I took. And we look at them and like, yeah, that's great. Okay. So what kind of job do you want? Oh,
Mhm.
nobody ever asked them that. They just went through these classes and they really don't know. And we've had people say, I want to be a nurse. Okay, well, you can start that by being a CNA and you can work your way up through that. They get in there to be a CNA and they're like, I'm not changing bedpans. That's not me. Okay, we got that before you went, because we told you you're going to change. We don't wait till you get on the job and then you change the bedpans. You don't like it. Security. They start yelling and, everybody, it scared me. I can't do that. Okay. We knew that in the beginning. So that's why I say our program evolved from knowing these things,
Oh
because
yeah.
we've had it happen. And that's what workforce development has to be. And the workforce development means you're developing people for the workforce. We say we're employment and training. So we're employment, training, and job placement. So we train you to get this job and place you in the job. So if you don't have job placement with it, then it's really not helping the populations that we serve, because they're desperate to work. And a lot of them don't have anything. They may have food stamps, but and they have to trade that for rent, or it's really a struggle. And you have to recognize that before you say that people don't want to go to work. We used to give out and we still do sometimes um, haircuts, because people didn't feel they were shaving or hair right to go to work, and so they just don't go. Because we've served a lot of homeless people,
Yeah.
and they live on the street, and how do you clean them up to go to work? I mean, think about that. Start there when you're planning your workforce programs. How do you get those people to move? And of course,
Mm.
we know some of them are mentally ill and they have those issues. And I worked in mental health for many years, so I do recognize that. But I believe everybody is trainable to do something, and
Yeah.
everybody has worth in this society. It's our job to find out what that is and to help them to achieve it.
Yeah, but again, whenever I talk to you about workforce, it's always that holistic view. Was now behind you. Now, what is your dream, that campus, to kind of bring all of that together before we kind of end it?
Well, what I need is the housing portion, the housing building, it'll be like 3 floors of dorm housing. So don't get it twisted that people can move and live there. No, it's dorm with a desk in there, and you can't bring food or friends or all of that. And it's just a place to stay until you finish your training. The other building, the larger building, we're looking at, we've asked for a clinic. We've been negotiating about that, and child care and other social services, even attorney on site, so that we can have a holistic approach to addressing the barriers to employment and all the other needs, that personal barriers that happen that prevent you from getting a job. And then the third building, because it's 2.4 acres, the third building is for training in the trades or automotive. Depends on what the jobs, the available positions are that need a large space that you can, because it's 10,000 square feet, very high ceilings. You can build a garage in there and learn all of the trades from that building. So what we're looking to do is to make sure that people that are not going to college, people that have gotten lost, and doesn't matter what, and I've had some offers for just my population, but the
Mhm.
key is that we maintain our employment and training programs. Things have been so twisted here lately in the last few years that we need to make sure that we get the funding we need for each of our programs, serving the different populations. So, we're serving youth in the summer programs and the city programs. The fallout is the state. We don't have a lot of employment training funds from the state, and we continue to get those populations that need it. So we need to make sure that we have a healthy menu of services to offer people that come to the site. We normally we've had up to 4 or 5 offices across the Cook County, and in DuPage we had an office, and we still have an office. So these are satellite offices, but they were program offices, and we were serving 2,500 a year, 2,000 average every year, placing 500 people in jobs every year. So we are training hundreds of people every year. So this is a process. This isn't like, 30 people come through here or 50 people on our caseload. These are hundreds, and we have a process to do it. And it's infinite based on the number of workers that we have and the capacity that we can hold in the building. We believe the workforce campus will serve at least 2,500 a year, at least, because we will take people from all over the city, and they can come here and build their workforce dreams.
Mhm.
I mean, this is and Congressman Rush calls it a game changers. This is a
Mhm.
game changer. This changes the whole dynamic of how you think about workforce development and its connection to employers. This is feeding in. Employers come to us and say, I will hire, 50 people, 20 people if you just teach them to do this. And we do that. And you'll be surprised how fast they pick them up. And we learned a lot of that from Put Illinois to Work. We had more than 3,000 people working in that program, and a lot of them are still working today. And
Mhm.
the employers, when I see them, when they see me, of course, they see my staff, but when they see me, they always ask me, when are you going to bring that program back? That was the greatest program. I still have workers from that program. So Illinois Cares is something that will do that. It will bring that program back for employers. It will give them a jump start on getting their businesses back on track. And it will address the high unemployment that we're going to be faced with. So it gives us a match to make sure that all populations are included in this. So we don't get lost in the wake also. And that everybody that wants an opportunity to work will get it. And that's what Put Illinois to Work was. It was, and I don't know what the other problems went, but on the community level, the grass, you could smell the grass was being cut. The whole community, the little downtown areas in each community was flourishing because people were working. And that's what happens when people are working in poor neighborhoods. It transforms them.
No, no question. Again, I believe it, and we're gonna be a part of solving it. So, I'm gonna have you back because I know as session goes, maybe next month we have some time because I want to make sure I'm gonna take this video and repost it on my social media because I want people to hear your passion and know that you're working and know that I'm listening, and other members, particularly the Black Caucus, but of all the caucuses, we have to make sure that the governor's office and all the people in Jefferson are focused on this issue. Because this is going to solve the problem. This is a solution, right? What you do is a solution.
That's what we do.
We like with those checks coming from, we like the stimulus check, but those aren't sustainable solutions.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. And it's going to be a horrible crash when people are flooded, and we're feeling it already now. So we need funding. When you guys are looking at those COVID dollars coming from the feds, yes, we need health, we need mental health, but people, you need more focus on the jobs, because that is what's going to get us back to going, because people can't go to the restaurant, they don't have a job. People can't, there's a lot of things that we need to do. And in the Black community and other communities of color, we've already suffered. Our unemployment rates are higher than anybody. We're 2-3 times what the city, says that they have. But so we were already suffering before the pandemic. So now you put this, it exacerbates the whole system, the whole society. And we've got to get it back. And so we have to do something drastic. And then bold and drastic. And that's what we're calling on our legislators. Do bold and drastic to help our communities.
No question. We will. And again, and we'll continue talking about workforce. And is my passion down here. You one of those people that really that stoked the fire for my passion for workforce and how we again get folks back to work. So I appreciate your time today. And again, we'll take the video, post it on social media late. I know we had some issues with the live function, but we'll make sure that the Sheryl Holman gospel gets out to the people, because you have something to say. And I want people to know that I support you as well.
I was going to say that. You have been my staunch supporter, because you listen to what I'm saying. And I know you get all kinds of saying things coming to you, but I am, if you can say anything about it, I've been persistent, because if I think something is right and it should happen, I'm going to stay on it. And that's just the way I am.
Even during the census,
have been.
I was pushing for the census money to get to an organization like yours. And continue to push, because we have to get folks back working. Hopes and dreams won't stabilize families. It takes employed people who can help families solve their own problems. That's something I think we don't discuss. Every family has problems, but the folks who work and have resources can help to stabilize the folks who are going through challenges. But if everybody is struggling, then who can be the crutch to keep the family going?
That is correct. And this pandemic has taught us that. It has taught us that we are all in this together, because it was not discriminating. It killed a lot of people.
Yeah, well, we're moving forward and to better days, and you'll be a part of it. So I appreciate you again for your time, and look forward to further discussions how we get workforce training and readiness at the forefront of the focus. So thank you so much, Sheryl Holman. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Great. Well, all the best. I see you running with the rep, Marcus Evans, got Sheryl Holman on, and I'm going to get back to doing everything she asked me to do.
Thank you.
Have a great day.